Hello, and welcome back to Sacpose, where we cover the highs and lows of Sacramento. Today, we'll be showing you some of the videos produced by the neighborhood news correspondents from AccessLocal.tv over the past several weeks. AccessLocal.tv's youth neighborhood news correspondents work to give a voice to community news in Sacramento. The Neighborhood News Correspondent Program is made possible by the generous support from the California Endowment. For more information about the California Endowment and its efforts in Sacramento, please visit sacbhc.org. First up today, we're joined by Mario Ayala, who's bringing us another feature on the Sacramento BHC Youth Leadership Workgroup. Mario?
Thanks, Adriana. The Sacramento BHC Youth Leadership Group is organizing a conference to take place later this summer in Sacramento. That means there's a lot to do now to make sure everything is in place for the event. Check it out.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Reyes, and I am a youth leadership team member.
And I'm Alondra Young, and I am the youth leadership team adult ally. So today's meeting we talked about the local control funding formula and our partnership with Sac Act and how we are wanting to engage young people to mobilize in regard to this effort. And then also we talked about our I Am Sacramento Youth Conference coming up this fall.
Sacramento Conference is youth, empowering youth, cultivating community, and addressing youth issues.
This conference is important because it's going to engage all young people and bring out their voice and cover different topic areas of interest of young people in health, education, looking at cultural identity, safety, community, healthy communities, environment, and transportation.
Our conference is targeted towards 7th through 11th graders within the BHC area, and we're giving our 12th graders optional if they wanted to fill out an application to be a volunteer.
So the conference is going to come to you later on this fall, just to start off your school year right, and so you can get engaged in some awesome activities that are out there for you.
So if somebody wants to get involved now, they can either like us on Facebook at SAC BHC Youth Leadership Team or email us at sacbhcyouth@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter at SacBHCYouth.
Or you can always join us at our meetings, our SAC BHC Youth Leadership Team meetings, first and third Thursdays of each month, 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. at Asian Resources off of Fruit Ridge and Stockton Boulevard.
Mario Ayala, AccessLocal.tv.
Interesting. Sometimes we take for granted all the effort that goes on behind the scenes of these youth events. They definitely don't materialize out of nothing. Thanks for the report, Mario. Speaking about these interesting efforts, our next piece by Jabril Kaiser has to do with a unique repair shop that fixes two-wheeled human-powered modes of transportation through education.
Recently, while on a ride through downtown, I found myself in need of an emergency bicycle repair. Thankfully, I was close to the Sacramento Bicycle Kitchen, an outfit which provides repair training and access to tools in exchange for a $5 donation. While there, I shot this segment for our viewers. Check it out.
Welcome to the Sacramento Bicycle Kitchen on 19th and I Street. The Bike Kitchen is a community-centered bicycle shop that began in Oak Park that serves the residents of Sacramento, California. The organization was formed to promote cycling as a low-cost, alternative form of transportation and to educate the community about bicycle safety and maintenance. The Bike Kitchen provides space, tools, and staff to help patrons learn how to repair any bicycle-related issue in exchange for a small $5 donation. Have you been coming to the Bike Kitchen?
I think probably about a year and a half or so. I've had like a previous bike that was totally not in good condition, and I was able to bring it and they were able to fix it.
The SBK offers maintenance workshops and organizes community outreach projects. The SBK's doors are open to anyone who is willing to learn about cycling and to those who already know about it. The SBK is a volunteer-operated organization and welcomes volunteers of all bicycle knowledge levels. The SBK receives part donations from community members and refurbishes old, unrideable bicycles. These bikes can then be purchased at an extremely low price. The proceeds all go to shop upkeep and maintenance. How long have you been volunteering here?
For about 3 years.
And what do you guys do at the Bike Kitchen?
how people fix their own bikes. We try to like a $5 donation, and we have the use of like tools in our stands. If they have a question about fixing a bike, if they're not too familiar with, well, we have volunteers around to help them.
The SBK also has t-shirts and an array of other merchandise. Jabril Kaiser, AccessLocal.tv.
How fortunate for Jabril that his bicycle mishap took place so close to this unique resource in our city. Great report, Jabril. Next up, Sage Lowrys brings us a piece on a vacant lot which was transformed by the hard work of volunteers.
What's more useful to Sacramento residents? A weed-infested empty lot or a thriving community garden? If you pick the second choice, then you would be in agreement with a group of North Oak Park residents who recently spent a Saturday morning transforming an eyesore into an asset.
On the corner of 33rd and V Street in Sacramento, a group of devoted community members decided to transform a vacant lot into a thriving community garden.
Have an empty lot across the street from our house that's just kind of full of weeds and causing problems, and so we thought we'd try and make some food out of it and make a public area where everyone can enjoy.
Community members Katie Reed and Evan Reed partnered with Soil-Born Farms to make the garden project happen.
One of the things is just really around community engagement, getting people out into the community and working together. And then the second thing is actually transitioning and really kind of beautify the neighborhood is another big part.
Residents came together for 3 hours on a recent Saturday morning to expand their previous labors of creating a beautiful winter garden.
So we ended up with a summer garden with tomatoes and zucchini and more than we could eat. We shared with the neighborhood, whoever wanted something. It just kind of, worked out. Put in a winter garden that's kind of coming towards its end right now. But that really kept us and quite a few neighbors that I've run across that have said thanks in produce throughout the winter. And now we're clearing the area. We're going to be making some paths later and some garden beds, try and make some themed areas.
In order to transform the empty space into a garden, residents began by thoroughly clearing and weeding the majority of the area, using tools provided by Soil-Born Farms. After hours of toiling under the sun, residents also planned locations for paths in the garden and laid down wood chips to begin the process.
I am just overwhelmed by the amount of support. This is incredible. This is much more than I could have done by myself. My husband and I have been trying to get this going, and this is more than we would have been able to do in a month.
So it's really nice to be in the community, working directly with people that is impacting their residents and their home and their neighborhood. So that's really cool.
As of today, the garden space is ready for future use, and all residents have a friendly new place to enjoy. Sage Lowrys, Access Sacramento.
Sharing stories about members of the community coming together to make their neighborhood a better place is what AccessLocal.tv is all about. That story was not featured on any other local media outlet, yet we find it to be extremely relevant and an important part of the fabric that makes Sacramento a great place to live. To check out stories like that in between episodes of Sacpose, make sure to visit www.accesslocal.tv. Keeping with our environmentally friendly theme, Michaela Franklin brings us our next report from a local Earth Day event.
Thanks, Adriana. Earth Day was first celebrated in 1970 and is now observed in over 192 countries every year. The Sacramento celebration took place on April 19th at Southside Park, and I went down to take a look at the festivities. Take a look and see what I found. I'm Michaela Franklin with AccessLocal.tv here celebrating Earth Day at Southside Park. Saturday, April 19th marked the 6th annual Earth Day celebration sponsored by the Environmental Council of Sacramento. The event was held at Southside Park on W Street. The festivities began at 10 a.m. and lasted until about 1 in the afternoon. Because of the recent lack of water in California, the focus of this year's Earth Day celebration was water conservation.
We are focusing this year on water. What is the water? How do we conserve it? And how can we keep it for future?
Many organizations ran booths which allowed them to interact with visitors and explain to them the many ways in which they can help out the earth around them.
We have to have a healthy ecosystem. We have to defend the rights of the animals, as well as providing opportunities for people to enjoy being outside in the water.
I even got the opportunity to talk with a volunteer from NorCal Bats, an organization designed to help rescue, rehabilitate, and release bats throughout Northern California.
Is a local species that eats a lot of beetles. So she has pretty good sized teeth. Right? And chewing through the beetle. They eat things like our crops. You know, the larval stages are very destructive. So you get the larva of the beetle that'll eat watermelon, and some of them eat nuts. You know, all kinds of things. Of course, they're also protecting our forests. They're in the spring, they eat a lot of mosquitoes, and then in the summer, they're eating a lot of moths. And again, the larva of the moth eats our tomatoes and our corn and, you know, all those crops. So they're protecting us and our food. So this bat is eating a mealworm, which wouldn't be normal in the wild.
Everyone can lend a hand, and hopefully events like these will continue to educate our nation's youth on the importance of protecting the planet. Michaela Franklin, AccessLocal.tv.
Good piece, Michaela. Sometimes I think we forget that we're not the only creatures which call the Earth home. All the animals on the planet are a part of the system which we must protect in order to survive. It was really cool that your video also featured some of these animals which we must strive to protect.
That's right, Adriana. I think that the event organizers realized that connecting with these creatures can inspire people to do their part to protect the planet. And it's just cool to see bats, turtles, reptiles, and other animals up close.
Speaking of doing our part to protect the planet, our last report on today's show is about Creek Week, an annual event where young people go into our local waterways and repair the damage which man has caused. It's important and vital to the local ecosystem. I recently filed the following report. Every year, the Sacramento community joins together to help preserve one of its most diverse and special natural resources. This event, known as Creek Week, sees the efforts of both teenagers and adults. These efforts help remove trash and other pollutants from the natural ecosystem. Mira Loma High School's Arcade Creek project is a driving force behind these restoration efforts.
When I look at Sacramento's urban watersheds, I want Sacramento's urban watersheds to be good and healthy.
This year, a major task was to help remove dams caused by trash, sticks, and logs, which block water flow and prevent the circulation of oxygen. You'll never know what kind of trash you'll find.
I'm holding this packet of what I believe was once chewing tobacco.
Is it trash? The beauty of the program is that it allows teenagers to be themselves while also doing something good for the community.
Dude, that's Jar Jar Binks? Are you serious? Jar Jar Binks is like the worst character.
Volunteers were provided trash bags, gator grabbers, and were expected to bring boots and gloves. These materials help prevent injury from exposure to hypodermic needles.
So Creek Creek is really important, especially for young people who are mostly involved, because it really educates them about why you need to protect your ecosystem and why it's important to protect the environment and conserve the environment. We have a lot of people out today, and it's looking really good. And whenever we come out here, people always come out here going, "Oh, I don't want to do it," but then they always come out here and they kind of get into the flow and they realize what a difference they're making, what a significance they have on the cleanup of the creek. So it's a really important event for the entire community, and as many people as we can get out, we try to. But the people who come out and go, "Oh my gosh, this is actually so much fun," those people are the most fun to work with, and I really like meeting them. I'm Lindsay Pasculin, and I am a restoration manager for the Mira Loma Arcade Creek project.
At the start of the day, the volunteers were faced with an enormous challenge to remove a dam filled with debris. But with a combination of teamwork, laughter, and a solid effort, the dam was cleared by the end of the day. Adriana Gomez, AccessLocal.tv. It's important that we all do our part to make the community a better place, and AccessLocal.tv sets itself apart by focusing on the stories of Sacramento residents who are doing exactly that. Well, that's all for today's episode of Sacpose. Jabril, Michaela, and myself are off to college now, but Mario and Sage will be back next time with a new batch of reporters. It's been great working with each of you, and we're all glad to have had the chance to bring you these interesting tales over the past 4 months. So be sure to visit AccessLocal.tv for more neighborhood news coverage from all around Sacramento. If you have a story that you would like us to cover, send an email to connector@accesslocal.tv. Bye!
Hi, I'm Sage Lowrys, and I'm a neighborhood news correspondent for AccessLocal.tv.
Hi, my name is Mario Ayala. I am a neighborhood news correspondent for AccessLocal.tv.
Hi, I'm Michaela Franklin, and I'm a neighborhood news correspondent for AccessLocal.tv.
Hi, my name is Jabril Kaiser, and I'm a neighborhood news correspondent for AccessLocal.tv.
Hi, I'm Adriana Gomez, and I'm a neighborhood news correspondent for AccessLocal.tv.
When I came into this program, I had a really strong opinion on the stuff that were going around in my neighborhood, and I just didn't know how to voice them.
You don't hear a lot about what youth find is important going on in their community, or even that youth are really so involved in the local community.
Interviewing people is something that I never would have imagined I'd be able to do. But the first task that I was given here was to create a video about my neighborhood, and I walked around feeling pretty scared and ended up interviewing people about what they thought about my community, and that was really amazing. It was kind of a stepping stone to interviewing a lot more people, and it's just something I never would have imagined doing.
It's important to get these stories because there's a lot of stuff that are going on in Oak Park that most people that don't live in Oak Park don't know about, and there's a lot of stuff that are going unseen and unchanged in Oak Park, and it's important for people to hear about it and try to change it and try to do something about it.
We are the next generation, and without our education and without us voicing our own opinions, then nobody else will for us. And bouncing ideas off one another while we create ideas for the next video program, and that's a pretty good experience to have, because I've never been in a situation to do that in a class or a work setting.
It's an amazing feeling to be able to tell a story about something that you're extremely passionate about and have the knowledge that people are actually looking at it and reading it and appreciating it.